Shri Purushottam Das Kasari Ji, Honorable Chancellor, Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya Indore, Dr. Professor Upinder Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya Indore, heads of institutes and departments, delegates, colleagues, and all students who are attending the conference virtually. A warm welcome to Anand Amrit 2023 virtual conference on mindfulness and happiness at workplace, challenges and opportunities. Light is a universal symbol of truth, knowledge, and understanding. It acts as a guide, keeping us from stumbling in the dark. With this thought, I request the technical team for the virtual lighting of lamp to seek blessings of Goddess Saraswati.
पद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती।
पैनलिस्ट वाले लिंक ज्वाइन करिए ना।
Thank you, team. I would now request the technical team to virtually welcome our chief guest. I invite Dr. T.K. Mandal, Conference Convener, Anand Amrit 2023, for his address about the conference.
Thank you, Shubhi, and good morning. At the outset, let me wish you all a very happy International Day of Happiness. Chief guest, Dr. Dasu Karma, Executive President of Center of Bhutan Studies and GNH Studies. Distinguished plenary speakers, Sri R. Anand, Sri Akhilesh Argal, and Colonel Premnath. Honorable Chancellor, Sri Purushottam Das Ji Pasari, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Upinder Dhar, Rector, Dr. Madam Santosh Dhar, session chairs, co-chairs, deans, heads of various institutes and departments of the university, paper presenters, fellow researchers, faculty and staff, dear students and other attendees. I, on behalf of the Center of Excellence in Happiness Studies of the university and the entire team of Anand Amrit 2023 organizing committee, extend a very hearty welcome to all of you. This is the 5th happiness conference that our university is conducting online. All of us know that 20th March has been adopted as International Day of Happiness by United Nations General Assembly in June 2012. Since then, we are celebrating International Day of Happiness every year on 20th June, that is today. And we at Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, we endeavored to take advantage of this day and organize the one-of-a-kind happiness conference of India. The first World Happiness Report, as some of you will be knowing, was released in 2012 again. And this was followed by 2 other reports in 2013 and 2015. Since 2016, Sustainable Development Solution Network, which is a global initiative of the United Nations, has been publishing the report every year on 20th March. And they use the data from Gallup's World Poll. So therefore, this year marks the 11th anniversary of the World Happiness Report, which will be released today at 12 p.m. EDT, that is at 9:30 p.m. IST. And those who are interested can access worldhappiness.report website and register to be a part of the function when the report will be launched. Now, this report, again, most of us know that apart from detailed analysis, it ranks over 150 countries based on self-reported level of happiness from the citizens. Since we are awaiting 2023 report, we have on hand reports up to 2022. And the report, as far as India is concerned, the ranking has not been very satisfactory as far as we are concerned. So therefore, a long way to travel for all of us as Indian citizens. This World Happiness Report also has developed tremendous interest in growing international community on happiness, both at national level as well as societal level, as much as in individual level. Keeping this in mind, we at SWB created a Center of Excellence in Happiness Studies under the guidance of our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Upinder Dhar, in March 2018, with the major objective of facilitating research in the area of innate happiness of human beings and the society that we live in, and further understand the benefits of happiness. There are other objectives as well of the Center of Excellence. And as I said, we are endeavoring to achieve this objective through research work, as well as organizing conferences, promoting research among budding researchers, and so on and so forth. The first happiness conference that we had hosted was in 2019. And the theme was embracing happiness for rejuvenating workplace environment. And in the first conference, we had 18 papers in total, which were presented by the researchers. The next year, that is on 2020, although we had scheduled and planned the conference on 20th March 2020, as all of us know, the outbreak of COVID-19 forced us to postpone it. And we held the conference in August 2020 with the theme, Positive Thinking and Happiness, Emerging Realities. And in the second conference, there were 27 papers which were presented by the researchers. The third conference of 2021 was held on 20th March 2021. As you note that we again try to host this conference every year on 20th March itself. The theme of the third conference was Happiness in Global Perspective, Prospects and Challenges. And this garnered a total of 32 papers which were presented by the researchers. The fourth conference was held last year, slightly later on 31st March 2022, with the theme Hope, Health and Happiness, Challenges and Solutions. And we had a total of 18 papers presented in this conference. And today we are going to have the third conference, the fifth happiness conference with the theme Mindfulness and Happiness at Workplace, Challenges and Opportunities. And we're going to have a total of 27 paper presentation following the inaugural session and the plenary session in two streams, two concurrent sessions. So therefore, we are really fortunate to have Dr. Dasu Karmaura, who is an authority on happiness and has been working so well and with the Bhutan model of happiness, which we know as GNH, with the Center of Bhutan Studies. It's our privilege to have you with us, sir. The inauguration will be followed by a plenary session with three eminent speakers Mr. R. Anand, Mr. Akhilesh Argal, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Rajya Anand Sansthan, the Happiness Department of the state of Madhya Pradesh, and Colonel Prem Nath from Hyderabad. So this will be followed by the two concurrent sessions. As I said, a total of 27 papers will be presented, and then finally we end the day with the valedictory session, summing up the conference. With this, I end the introduction of the conference and hand over back to Suvi.
Thank you so much, sir. I would now like to invite our respectable mentor, Dr. Professor Upinder Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, and conference patron to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning to all of you. Our chief guest on this special occasion, Mr. Dashokarma Ura from Bhutan, Honorable Chancellor of the University, Shri Purushottam Das Ji Pasari, all our resource persons, Mr. Argal, Colonel Premnath, and all others who have joined us and who will be joining us during the day. At the outset, I welcome all of you to this fifth session of, or fifth season of Conference on Happiness. The theme of the conference is very timely. And if we'd ask ourselves that why are we talking about happiness? Traditionally, we have been talking about satisfaction. Satisfaction with the job, satisfaction in the personal life, satisfaction with the friends, and so on. Why we have started talking about happiness in the last few years? Through research, it has been found there is a distinction, there is a difference. Satisfaction, which in Hindi means santushti, and happiness, which in Hindi means Anand. Santushti and Anand are not synonymous. The two are not the same. Through research, it has been found that satisfaction is domain specific. That means, say, when we say satisfaction, it will be job satisfaction, satisfaction in personal life, satisfaction in marital life, satisfaction with the friends. So domains, various domains of life. So santushti is related to particular domain, but it does not traverse the life in totality. Whereas Anand, that is happiness, it does. Happiness is not domain specific. Happiness cuts across various domains of life. And through research across world, it has been found that happiness is important because implications are very welcome and good. For instance, happiness reduces stress. It has been proved that happiness reduces stress in life. Whereas satisfaction will not. Satisfaction will reduce stress related to that particular domain only. Say job satisfaction. If a person is not satisfied with the job, he will be, he may be having stress at the job, at the workplace. But if job satisfaction, as job satisfaction goes up, stress level may also go down related to the job. Whereas in happiness, it is not so. It is not domain specific. In totality, happiness reduces stress. Second, happiness is tied to better health of heart. It has been established that health of heart has a relationship with happiness. Happier people do not suffer much so far as the heart disease is concerned. So it ensures in a way the health of the heart. Third reason why to talk about happiness is that happiness can boost the immune system. immune system of the individual, immune system of the person is boosted up when a person is happy. So happiness leads to lesser diseases because immune system is high. Fourthly, happiness extends life. It has been observed that happier people have longer life than unhappy people. Fifth one, the fifth reason why we talk about happiness. Happiness also relates to relationships with others. So happier people are able to relate to people from different domains of life. So a happy person is likely to have good relations with his colleagues. A happy person is likely to have good relations at his home. Happy person is likely to have good relations with his friends and others. Sixth reason, people or the happy people have better marriages. Their happiness in life. See, there used to be a time when we used to talk about satisfaction in married life. Even I had long back, 30 years back, I had reviewed number of studies, more than 30 years back, I had reviewed number of studies to understand the factors which lead to satisfaction in married life. But then over the period of time in these 30, 35 years, we have come a long way. Today, we don't talk just satisfaction. We don't talk only about santushti or satisfaction. We also talk about happiness. And it has been found that happier people have better married life, happier married life. Instead of saying satisfied married life, we would say happier married life. Seventh point is happiness increases productivity at work. Even this has been established. Those people, those employees who are happier, who are happy at workplace, their productivity is also high. So happiness leads to higher productivity in that sense. Further, eighth reason is that happiness makes us more creative. This is a recent finding. Is a recent finding that happiness has a direct relationship with creativity. See, earlier, traditionally, people would believe that when people have sadness, troubles, so they are able to sublimate it into something creative. But now the recent finding is that even happy people are also creative. So it gives rise to creativity. It is a new finding which needs to be further studied. So it promotes creativity. Rachnatmakta बढ़ती है when people are in the state of Anand. So Anand gives rise to creativity or rachnatmakta. Further, ninth reason why to talk about happiness is people see sunny side of life or sunny side of the things. That means it has been found, as Dr. Mandal has talked about, mindfulness. So mindfulness is directly correlated with happiness, with the state of happiness. That means happier people focus more on happier aspect, positive aspect of life, positivity, instead of focusing on the negative aspects of it. Say life is full of both. The good experiences, bad experiences. But then happy people focus more on good experiences. So positive thinking, positiveness, which further results into mindfulness. So they are related, correlated. Mindfulness and happiness, we won't say are the same, they are different, but they are correlated. So better mindfulness, higher state of happiness. And one more reason, which is again needs to be studied further, that why we talk about happiness, why happiness is important. And some researchers have reported that it makes a person more generous. One becomes more generous if he is happy in life. And in fact, there is a cycle. Higher the generosity, higher the happiness. Higher the happiness, more the generosity. So there is a relationship, but it needs to be explored. So these are the 10 reasons which I could explore from the research studies which have been done in recent times. But then at the same time, it is as a common sense, it appears that yes, there is a good reason for being happy. But further, there is scope to empirically test it and see further the reasons of happiness, or what leads to happiness, or why should we worry about happiness at all. So संतुष्टि से आनंद का सफर कैसा और क्यों है? संतुष्टि की बात हम हमेशा करते रहे हैं, संतुष्टि लेट इट बी, व्यक्ति को वो सब करे ताकि वो जीवन में संतुष्ट रहे. But then research doesn't say that way. It doesn't happen. संतुष्टि is domain specific. एक मामले में तो संतुष्ट है, जैसे जॉब के केस में संतुष्ट है, पर्सनल लाइफ में may not be संतुष्ट, may not be satisfied. But when we come to happiness, Anand, it goes across. Whether you talk about personal life, you talk about married life, you could talk about life at the workplace, you talk about the life with the friends. Happiness cuts across these domains. That makes it more mega experience. Therefore, I think this conference, Anand Amrit, is very much relevant, and it is across disciplines. When we talk about happiness, it doesn't relate only to engineering. It does not relate only to management. It doesn't relate only to social sciences. It doesn't relate only to, say, forensic science and so on. It doesn't relate to agriculture. It cuts across. It deals with the human being, irrespective of what discipline, what job, what domain we are talking about. So I'm sure that by the end of this conference, this Anand Amrit 2023, we will feel definitely happier and have better understanding about happiness. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your words, sir. I would like to now invite Shri Purushottam Das Kasari ji, Honorable Chancellor, Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, for his address.
नमस्कार. आज के हमारे माननीय मुख्य अतिथि आदरणीय श्री दचोकर्मा हुरा भूटान, श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय कुलपति डॉक्टर उपेंद्र धर, श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ न्यास के सभी पदाधिकारीगण, कॉन्फ्रेंस के कन्वीनर श्री टी.के. मंडल जी, कॉन्फ्रेंस में सम्मिलित होने वाले वक्तागण, प्रतिभागीगण, विभिन्न शैक्षणिक संस्थाओं के विद्यार्थीगण, इस विश्वविद्यालय के शिक्षकगण, अधिकारीगण एवं प्रिय छात्र छात्राओं, सर्वप्रथम मैं मुख्य अतिथि आदरणीय श्री दचोकर्मा हुरा जी का हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं कि आपने हमारे आग्रह को सहजता से स्वीकार किया, जिसके लिए आपको साधुवाद। आपकी गरिमामयी उपस्थिति इस आनंद अमृत संगोष्ठी में अमृत की वर्षा कर रही है। आनंद अस्थि स्वीकृति अर्थात आनंद ही स्वीकार्य है। ईश्वर द्वारा हम सब प्राणियों को आनंद का नैसर्गिक तत्व प्रदान किया है, जो कि हम सबके लिए अमृत रसायन के समान है। ईश्वर ने केवल हम मनुष्यों को ही हंसने बोलने का गुण दिया है, जिससे हम प्राप्त आनंद को अभिव्यक्त कर सके। इसीलिए हमें ईश्वर के प्रति कृतज्ञ होना चाहिए, साथ ही इस हंसने मुस्कुराने के गुण को बनाए रखना चाहिए। वर्तमान दौर में जहाँ आज तनाव, क्रोध, चिंता ने हम सबको घेर रखा है, ऐसे समय में कार्यस्थल पर सचेतन व आनंद पर आधारित इस संगोष्ठी की उपयोगिता व प्रासंगिकता सर्वविदित है। मुझे विश्वास है कि आज जो भी विचार मंथन किया जाएगा वह हमारे मन मस्तिष्क को स्वस्थ बनाए रखने के साथ एक नई ऊर्जा भी प्रदान करेगा। हमारा देश उत्सवों का देश है, जिसका मूल उद्देश्य आनंद अनुभूति है। आज का यह समारोह उसी का एक प्रतिबिंब है, जो कि हमारे विश्वविद्यालय के नवाचार को भी प्रदर्शित करता है। आज इस अवसर पर मैं यह भी उल्लेख करना उचित समझता हूँ कि सामाजिक सेवा एवं मानव सेवा ही माधव सेवा के उद्देश्य से निहित हमारे श्री वैष्णव साई कपड़ा मार्केट कमेटी ने की स्थापना सन 1884 से में पारमार्थिक सेवा कार्यों की शुरुआत के लिए की गई थी। हमारे द्वारा वर्तमान में धार्मिक, स्वास्थ्य एवं शैक्षणिक क्षेत्र में लगातार सेवाएं प्रदान की जा रही है। शैक्षणिक क्षेत्र में सन 1951 में हमारा पदार्पण हुआ और आज हमारे 4 सीबीएसई स्कूल, 5 महाविद्यालय के पश्चात इसी श्रृंखला में गुणवत्तापूर्ण शिक्षा प्रदान करने के उद्देश्य से सन 2015 में श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय की शुरुआत की गई थी। आज ये विश्वविद्यालय शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में नित्य नए सोपान तय कर रहा है। हमारे विश्वविद्यालय से पास आउट विद्यार्थी आज उद्योग जगत में बहुत अमूल्य संपदा परिभाषित हो रहे हैं। अंत में इस आनंद अमृत संगोष्ठी अपने उद्देश्यों को पूरा करे, इसी शुभेच्छा के साथ संगोष्ठी के सफल आयोजन हेतु बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय वैष्णव।
Thank you, sir. Moving forward, with the unrelenting efforts of our Anand Amrit team, we have the final product in the form of the conference souvenir, Sar Anand. I invite all dignitaries for the virtual release of the conference souvenir, Sar Anand. I request the technical team to please play the release video. Thank you, team. I would now like to request Dr. Vikas Rathore to kindly introduce our esteemed chief guest for today.
A warm good afternoon to one and all present here. Our chief guest, Dasho Karma Ura, is the Executive President, Center for Bhutan and Gross National Happiness Studies. He has earned his undergraduate degree at Oxford University and his master's in Philosophy of Economics from the University of Edinburgh, UK. He also obtained a PhD degree from
Because the presentation is not visible.
Yeah, wait. Is it visible?
Not yet, sir.
I'll present it shortly.
It's visible now.
He has earned his undergraduate degree at Oxford University and his master's in Philosophy of Economics from the University of Edinburgh, UK. He also obtained a PhD degree from Graduate School of International Development, Nagoya University, Japan. Dasho also has an Indian connection since he has studied BA from St. Stephen's College, New Delhi. He worked in the Planning Commission of Bhutan from 1989 to 1998 before becoming the director of the Center for Bhutan Studies, that is CBS, from its founding in 1999 until 2008, when he became its executive president. Under the show, the CBS has been at the forefront in promoting and developing national and global understanding of Bhutan's development philosophy of gross national happiness, that is GNH. He was a member of drafting committee of Bhutan's first constitution, which was enacted in July 2008. He was awarded the Red Scarf and the ancient title of Dasho, that is knighthood, by His Majesty the Fourth King in December 2006. In 2010, he was bestowed the honor of Druk Khorlo, that is Wheel of Dragon Kingdom, by His Majesty the King for his contributions to literature and fine arts. He is also a painter. His paintings can be seen in the renowned iconic Dochula Temple near Thimphu, built under the generous patronage of Her Majesty the Queen Mother Ashi Dorji Wangmo Wangchuk. He is currently member of several international boards and working groups, including Advisory Board, Wellbeing Research Center in University of Oxford. He is also a member Earth Trusteeship Working Group, that is ETWG, and member in Global Happiness Council, UAE, and World Happiness Report. In Bhutan, he is a member of several bodies, such as the Board of Royal Monetary Authority, which is also known as Central Bank of Bhutan. He has several books and publications to his credit, including a novel, The Hero with 1,000 Eyes. The show's current research interests are in the areas of development policies, GNH, well-being, policy indicators, Buddhist iconographic painting, and designs. Once again, we welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Vikas sir, and a very warm welcome to you once again, Dr. Dasho. I would now like to invite Dr. Dasho Karma Ura sir to kindly grace the platform with his valuable words and proceed with his address.
Thank you, Subhi, and thank you, Vikas, for those very kind words. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes, sir.
So first of all, I would like to thank conference convener, Dr. P.K. Mandal. I'd like to also thank Vice Chancellor, Dr. Upinder Dar, and Chancellor Sri P. Pusari, and other academics at Sri Vishwa Vidyalaya for including me on this important occasion. And thank you very much for your kind words, Chancellor Sri Pusari. Now, your topic today of mindfulness, happiness at workplace is an extremely important one in modern era. And I'd like to congratulate the Vidyalaya for organizing this kind of event. And not only so, but encouraging such a vast diversity of research topics, such as 27 you're going to present this afternoon. I thought that I will not go into boring statistics and research results of GNH and such things, but discuss general issues about mindfulness and happiness. I hope that is a little bit helpful, but there is nothing profoundly new, as Dr. Pusari has already outlined, Dr. Upindra has also outlined. I thought that I will speak in brief about mindfulness and quality of human beings, and about the way our mind basically as a sensing object, sensing the external world, how our experience is shaped through really the three sensory doors of mind, body, and sound. I'd like to also briefly touch about the relationship between mindfulness and the market, because the distraction, a great deal comes through the market and how it operates today in an increasingly marketized world. To be very brief and highly condensed, I would also like to say that the two fundamental dependents of our happiness is really about the quality of social relationship we have and the quality of our relationship with the environment. I'm boiling down to very, very general points, but I think that to be able to focus on these two things and how we relate to social relationship and environmental quality are fundamental. So I'd like to discuss a little bit about quality of social relationship and happiness and how it is mediated by mindfulness too. And of course, nobody can ignore the very importance of how we shape our mind, and it's because it is the main experiencing mechanism or machine, let us say. If there is time, which is given to me, about 20 minutes, I would also like to touch a little bit about GNH, but that might not be possible today. I like to say that perhaps globally, there is a wide variety of psychological disturbances which we suffer greatly in hiding and in secret, let us say, such as phobias, fearfulness, anxiety, anger, meaninglessness, grasping, alienation, disconnectedness, and confusion. All these kind of mental phenomena are stalking our thoughts all the time. And no government, because no government has organization examining these things, no government has any comprehension of such mental phenomena among its population, with the exception of the prevalence of clinical depression. But that is a psychiatrical approach rather than general approach to well-being, mindfulness on the population as a whole. We live in an age where not only classical and localized sources of dukkha, such as birth, sickness, aging, and inevitably our dissolution through death exist, but also enormous collective anxieties about the future with regard to violence, nuclear militarization, poverty, enormous inequality in the midst of plenty, biodiversity collapse, climate change, and so forth. Both the question of individual happiness and the structural challenges to humanity and happiness has become increasingly important. As you all distinguished scholars and students of well-being and happiness know, mindfulness is directed at a particular type of cultivation of a particular type of psychology amongst human beings. It is concerned primarily with the nature of experiencing by a person through momentariness and the training of desirable mental processes such as power of attention, will, feelings, sensation, intention, desires, and so forth through mindfulness. The power of savoring the present momentariness through mindfulness is indeed in both Hinduism and Buddhism a basic capacity which we must have, but which we easily ignore. Ancient Indian civilization's emphasis on mindfulness and happiness has been really enormous. Satipatthana Sutta and Anapanasati Sutta of Buddha, dealing with mindfulness meditation and breath meditation, respectively, are a splendid example in this regard. Much like Hinduism, in Buddhism too, development is about the qualitative improvement of human beings that makes them orient towards mindfulness and also orient towards happiness as a byproduct or automatic result of the trainings of mindfulness and wisdom. We should also note that ethics in both Hinduism and Buddhism is sharply based on whether you cause dukkha to yourself and others. Causes of pain and causes of unhappiness can be both structural and specific. Causes can spring from many sources, such as psychological, physical, communal, cultural, environmental, economic, educational, health, and governmental functioning. And that is why these domains are really the subject of gross national happiness. Meditation accompanied by subtle body and breath movement are central to mindfulness, as you know. As the previous speaker has mentioned, meditation releases you from stress and helps you think perhaps much more clearly and better, as indicated by its three effects of joy, clarity, and radiance. But the true eventual aim of meditation, as you know, is to expose the lack of self. The discovery of no self is a moment of discovery of something of our essence, something about our consciousness, which is said to be very bright and naturally happy. But I like to bring up one contrasting view of mind as portrayed by artificial intelligence pioneer Arvind Minsky. He held the view of a mechanistic view of human mind as tissues of biochemistry processing information. And as an AI scientist, his views were that the human mind can be far more powerful for computation when AI and human beings will be merged, incorporating computer chips. Anyway, that is the direction we are going, as you know, about the project being carried out by Elon Musk and such people. We can extrapolate the view of Arvind Minsky to say that the mind and body might be programmed and designed not to feel dukkha and stress, not to need any attempt for cessation from suffering, which is a great subject in Hinduism and Buddhism. Such views of technology and AI-equipped super-intelligent machines worries many people because of its lack of attention to intentionality and to ethics. I don't want to go too much into this, but it might be interesting to contrast two types of technologies. One is the technology of improving external material things, that is to say, technology of living standard. But that will do nothing to things such as requirement of mindfulness, because that is a different type of technology. That is a technology you operate on yourself, by yourself, in first person. So this technology of selflessness, technology of liberation, technology of mindfulness, from fixation on the self and self-identity and engaging in mindfulness is really a great legacy from the Indian civilization. So I'm very happy that this institute is at least has renewed that great focus. Now, if I may move to my second point, that is the three sensory doors of human experiences, how we basically experience well-being and happiness through this. Human beings, as you know, are largely, they experience the external world through the three doors of body, mind, and sound. In the case of human body, it is no doubt the foundation of our experience of well-being and happiness, which can be, of course, potentialized, transformed much more through various mind-body practices. and of course, yoga is one of them, there is increasing evidence that there is hidden power of trained human mind to activate autonomous nervous system, heal itself and stop illnesses, not only body or form, but sound of both wild and human man-made sounds like music, chants, and mantras have tremendous bearing on thought, perception, and ultimately human well-being. Our thinking is largely based on language, as you know, whether we vocalize or not. Even when we are thinking silently, we are talking to ourselves in language. In some visualization-based meditation, as in Vajrayana Buddhism, attention is directed at visual topographies for a prolonged period so that non-linguistic or language-free imageries are evoked. And the mind for that period is free from language and from linguistic symbols. And that is one way of reducing your heavily burdened mind and bring about relief. In terms of the mind as a gateway of human experience, the vision is to glimpse, as you all know, the nature of non-dual mindfulness. That is very much also a focus in Vedanta, Advaita, and in Vajrayana Buddhism. And that kind of non-dual mindfulness is very different from non-judgmental awareness mindfulness, where the impressions are registered, but the mind is not captured or dominated by external impressions. Anyway, all kind of mindfulness helps in building concentrative ability and sense of spaciousness. And that is the foundation of creativity. If you cannot direct your attention uninterpreted way, creativity and productivity is not stimulated. So that is really the way to loosen the normal habitual patterns of an ordinary mind, which is caught up in discursive thinking, and build, in short, a healthier and more creative person. But to do that, really, as emphasized before by previous speakers, you need to develop attentional capacity, which is the very basic human capability. Now, on coming to happiness, classical ideas of happiness include a series of moments of pleasures that would be maximized in the life as a whole. It also includes some thought about need to tame your wild emotional tendencies and control over adverse impact of circumstances in life on your mind. It also includes, as previously mentioned in the subjective happiness well-being literature, positive and fulfilling ideas. And it also includes, right from the beginning, such as thinkers such as Aristotle and all, fulfillment of virtuous potentials of human beings. And the question of what is virtuous is, of course, needs much more elaboration. So happiness is not only about feeling good subjectively, but objectively fulfilling human potentials in wherever we deem it is virtuous qualities. So everyone has different ideas of means and routes to happiness. But this does not mean that happiness cannot be a science, as you all know very much. It doesn't change the definition of happiness as a positive and fulfilling and calm sense. There are different ways to be happy, but the sense of being fulfilled and positive and calm among human beings is the same. But we also have to note that human beings have grander goals and visions to strive, and we cannot feel absolutely happy in isolation from achievements of these larger goals and visions human beings have. Research on happiness can be used for public policy purposes, and I'm sure that the Institute is really focusing on that in organizations, in government, and your focus on workplace is an aspect of that important part. And it can be used to complement economic growth and concerns about GDP. Complement, I say. GDP has been used as a measure of aggregate welfare, somewhat mistakenly, as you know. But because GDP cannot measure, it is not designed to measure that. It's only designed to measure input into happiness and well-being as an output. So that is why happiness matrix such as GNH includes non-material aspects of life which cannot be captured through market transactions, whereas GDP includes goods and services produced and sold in the market. That is why your work is very important. As India becomes a superpower, you also have to pay attention to these non-material and non-monetizable sides of our life. Anyway, the market forces, marketing, and maximization of GDP are supposed to be aligned. They work hand in hand because to boost aggregate demand, you need marketing. But to do marketing, we need to attack attention. In fact, you have to disturb people's attention and calmness to draw them out towards the consumer good. So the question really arises whether market forces, marketing, and GDP are equally aligned with happiness and sustainability, and with mindfulness. Marketing and advertising try to create beliefs that those marketed goods and services will give you untold subjective well-being or utility in economics. To use a Hindi word, samsara may be invisible, made invisible by marketing and the market. We have to be very careful about this. As a framework for thinking about public expenditure, a happiness matrix like gross national happiness sets out those areas that are normally neglected in development thinking. And these have been developed because development is focused quite a lot on material aspects of society. It has neglected importance of psychological well-being. It has neglected community vitality and relationship out of which we emerge as individuals. It has neglected basic attention to time use over 24 hours. From the point of view of economic growth, it's better for you to be exhausted and tired because it doesn't really take care about the leisure and household parts. And it is neglected, in my opinion, culture and environment quite a great deal. It should be noted that the stock of natural capital is not part of, Dr. Subi, please do remind me of timing because I'm not aware of it. So please do remind me how much time is left.
So you must still go on for a few minutes.
You can go on, sir. I think for another 12, 13 minutes, okay.
Okay, so thank you. I will try to wind up within that period. So I was saying that we should note that the stock of natural capital is not part of GDP, and the market prices underestimate the value of most of all environmental goods. Even where there are prices attached to them, it underestimates. I bring this out because my general and basic point today is that happiness depends primarily and broadly on quality of social relationship and the quality of environment we enjoy. And so the market doesn't really reflect these two fundamental things. At a more fundamental level, as I said, sustained happiness will require very broadly sustained environmental quality and sustained social quality. And in my opinion, all leadership, whether at institutional, corporate, or government level, increasingly we'll have to focus on the convergence of happiness, social quality, and environmental quality. So if I may say a word or two on the quality of social relationship and happiness, happiness can be increased by increasing positive emotions. And positive emotions can be sustained also by increasing social engagement with challenging activities and through positive social interactions. But happiness can be also increased by increasing the feeling of meaning, which comes with positive connections to institutions, individuals, and worthy activities, where meaning lies. As you know, we have a basic urge to belong to places and to other people, to feel close and to feel safe as part of our living humanity's condition. Attachment, by the way, unless you are a great yogi, plays a big part in everybody's life. These emotional quality forms the core of human social relationship. It is not only receiving love and affection and compassion that gives rise to happiness, but giving them becomes sources of happiness for you. Love and affection and compassion enables people to identify with others' success to make you feel empathetic happiness. At the same time, gratitude and thankfulness generates joy on both sides. So if I may just say in passing how we take care of this communal part in the GNH, the indicators for community vitality are donation of time and money, safety and victimization, community relationship, and family relationship. And mental stress, which is part of the health, is measured by General Health Questionnaire, which, as you know, is a package of 12 questionnaires worldwide administered. And this mental stress turns out to be highly correlated with the number of people a person can count will offer help during times of need, from needs of various kinds, from financial, emotional, or health problem. During this time, if you have more people on whom you can count to support you, mental stress is far less. So you can then visualize or imagine how important is community relationship to help. This is a very obvious point, really obvious point. And ordinary people also define a good community simply as one where they can, to put it metaphorically, laugh and cry together. But more, I suppose, emphasis on laughter than crying together. In such a good community, villages, one important feature is doing things together regularly. That is very important, doing things together and creating projects or programs where people can come together and bond. This is really important process. Solidarity in villages has to be heightened during times of death, sickness, or accident to keep up the tradition of helping each other. This goes, of course, as you know, quite missing in urban areas, and that is one of the great challenges of modern time. It is quite a blessing, as you know, to live in a community where there is no fight and disagreement. But if there is a difference and disagreement, equally, mediation, not through court, but mediation, how to bring people together and reconcile, is really a vital part of community structure. Really vital part of community structures. How to dissolve distances amongst people so that social bonding, social quality remains high. Even in our country, which is trying GNH, there is a sense of certain decline in the bonds and interdependence amongst members of community already. And the perception that trust and loyalty within a village, which used to be there in the past, is rapidly going away, rapidly going on. The biggest threat to rural communities and good community relation is the migration of the youth to non-farming jobs in town. Migration is damaging reciprocal labor arrangements and community solidarity. Even here, we can look towards the future, and there is very big challenges, very big challenges. The AI and such kind of internet technologies are helping brain workers. They can work from home, and this really complements community vitality and family relationship. But for most of the working class people or ordinary workers, they have to really go to another place to work. And this is how to reconcile the necessity for social relations and connections and working life has become really a major challenge in our time. Maybe I have 5 minutes, so I try to wind up. Now, as people achieve certain material living standard, as poverty is coming down, the promotion of mental health and happiness will become a universal effort. It has to become a universal effort. What is the purpose of better living standard? Anyway, better living standard is just a means towards more positive mental and physical status. So in the GNH, the indicators for mental health in general and mental health in particular are, as you know, self-reported health status, which is very rapid, and it does track the general health condition of the people. We also calculate the number of healthy days, some sort of adjusted HALI over last 30 days, disability, and above all, mental health through GHQ. Positive psychology is tracked through other metrics. In Bhutan, also free health service is a major leveling up tool. And it's a major tool, especially for the old and the unwell. Being unhealthy is a risk present in all our life, since health is not a completely knowable thing. You can become depressed suddenly. You can find cancer grown up in your body to a dangerous level. So it's not really, it's a risk. It's not a, completely knowable things. So until sickness emerges, we don't know. And some illnesses are psychosomatic, and that is where the mindfulness comes to play in a big way. For example, as I said, depression can strike a child bearer when there is a miscarriage. Mental illness is often attributed to mysterious work of spirits, still in our country, in many parts of our country. And mental disorder is thought to be inflicted by local deities when people fail to worship them or appease them. So in terms of psychological well-being, we track this phenomena through, as previous speaker, Vice Chancellor and Chancellor has mentioned, life satisfaction, positive emotions, negative emotions, and meditations. We find that positive emotions, calmness, compassion, generosity are very much caused by training. So training is a very important one. It doesn't arise naturally amongst students and human beings. So you do need practice as well as conceptual training for this. Negative emotions, which is a different category, it's not the same extension of positive emotion in the negative direction. It's quite a different category. And you find that anger is really prevalent amongst young people, and it declines to a manageable level at the age of 30 or so. So the episodes of anger, the frequency is very high amongst young people. I would like to just throw a few findings here and there. So contemplation and prayer, this is meditation in the Vajrayana method, is prayer and meditation and mindfulness is integrated. So it's a very dominant, plays a dominant role in elderly people trying to keep their emotions stable. And that is why I think the curve of happiness and well-being really strangely and paradoxically climbs up after 60, because people have come to reconcile with the facts of life. And then you focus really on cultivating calmness, positive emotions in the face of the end of life. So I think my time is up, I'm sure.
Right, sir.
So there, I think I would like to end by saying that a study of happiness is not entirely focused on generation of happiness and happiness people, happy people, and the percentages. The real focus we have to have by studying happiness is how to solve the problem of unhappy people. This is, I think, the key part. In that sense, it really becomes compassionate activity. In our country, about 8% are desperately unhappy. Desperately unhappy. And then next 30% or so are just happy. But they can plunge into unhappiness any moment because it is not stable, it is not robust, But the attempt is really to find out where are the unhappy people, why are they unhappy, and what can you do? And the approach, what can you do, has to be a personal or individual attempt, communities attempt, and government attempt. There are different approaches at different levels. Well, if I say that, what is the characteristics of unhappy people, I would like to put down in this country to 3 factors. One, you will be surprised, is being detached and alone. Even though you have good amount of prosperity, if you are alienated and alone, loneliness, which you can suffer in the center of your town or the center of crowd, being detached from other human beings. I think this is a very, very important factor. Second, obviously in modern time, is a lack of education. Lack of education is highly associated with unhappiness in our country. And third one, which is not so important elsewhere, is a lack of land. This is not a lack of job, but because it is a subsistence economy, lack of land for some people. So resolution of the problem, lack of land, lack of education, etc., is very much possible through dynamism of government and leadership. And His Majesty the King of Bhutan is focused on this very much. But social isolation is very difficult for the government to resolve. Social isolation. And this is question about how you can restore social fabric. And there are no good market instrument on this kind of issues. So I like to stop my lecture because time has run out, and you have a very, very heavy agenda today. I wish I could get the benefit of those 27 papers. It will help us a great deal also. We do a lot of statistical work analysis. I didn't present anything like this because nothing is more boring and pedantic than statistics. But for causal and correlational study, that is, and for policy application, disaggregated findings are so important so that you can do policy targeting. And the particular aggregation method we have adopted here allows that result can be decomposed to any level, gender, geography, education, etc., income level. So that's very helpful. I hope that your conference and your great initiatives under your very farsighted leadership will once again reapply the findings of ancient Indians, philosophers and thinkers to modern situation. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful address. I'm sure a lot of young scholars amongst the audience would also want to pursue these issues and challenges that you touched in your address. Thanks a lot. Before inviting Dr. Anu Kande for her words of thanks, I request all dignitaries to please switch on their videos so that we may take a screenshot of this lovely gathering. Thank you. I would now request Dr. Anu Kande to present her words of thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Vyas. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the words of thanks for Anand Amrit 2023, the 5th National Conference on Happiness. As very well said by our esteemed chief guest, gratitude and thankfulness increases joy on both sides. So it's extremely great that I am here to present the words of thanks as a token of gratitude. First and foremost, I extend deep gratitude to our respected chief guest, Dr. Dashokarma Ura, Executive President, Center for Bhutan and Gross National Happiness Studies, Thimphu, Bhutan. I take this opportunity to thank Shri Purushottam Das Pasari, Honorable Chancellor, Shri Vaishnav Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, for his constant mentoring and support for conducting Anand Amrit and many such great conferences. I would like to thank our respected, inspirational, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Shri Vaishnav Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya, Dr. Upinder Dhar, who always motivates us for betterment. And I extend my gratitude to you, sir, for not only spending your time with us today, but also for being the pillar of strength and endeavor in all of our conferences and events. A warm thanks goes to respected Dr. T.K. Mandal, coordinator of the conference and head Center of Excellence in Happiness Studies, Shri Vaishnav Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya, for his support and leadership in execution of this conference. I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to the co-coordinator of the event, Dr. Rishu Roy. Behind every successful program lie the manifold attempts of our committed faculty and staff, and also the technical team. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the immense contribution of our dedicated team, who indulged themselves for making this session wonderful by their efforts. I would like to mention the names of a few and would like to express thanks to our active members, Dr. Shubhi Vyas, Ms. Mohita Kushwaha, Dr. Vikas Rathore, Mr. Vikas Sharma, Dr. Sumit Chandak, Dr. Chaykishan Sahu, Mr. Sujay Phatak, Ms. Pooja Verma, Ms. Amrita Singh, Mr. Satish Patel, Dr. Supriya Vyas, Mr. Primansh Sharma, Ms. Shivli De Sarkar, Dr. Norbert Solomon, Dr. Amit Joshi, our technical team members, Mr. Shrikant Telam, Mr. Parvez, Mr. Nitin Saraogi. All of you were the pillars behind this conference, and a big thanks to all of you. I thank all the members of our working committee, including promotion and publicity team, the registration team, the editing team, all the participants, the delegates, and the students for their active and zestful participation. On behalf of Center of Excellence in Happiness Studies, I, Dr. Anu Kande, take this opportunity to wholeheartedly thank each one of you for taking out time and making this event a success. I look forward to a very fascinating, engaging, and knowledge-gaining day today, along with a lot of happiness. Thanks again. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. This is towards the end of our inaugural session. I request everyone to rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
I request the audience to join us for the plenary sessions. Thank you everyone for being present today.